It seems like our world is more divided now than ever before, especially when it comes to complicated geopolitical issues. Some of these topics are bound to spill over into classroom discussions and student conversations. So, on October 25th, many humanities teachers had a professional development on how to navigate some of these tough conversations with students. This discussion was led by the organization Seeds of Peace, who are focused on building dialogue that promotes respect and empathy, especially among youth. We sat down with some of the teachers who attended to learn more about what this means for us as students.
On October 25th, we knew that there was a professional development about having tough conversations with students led by Seeds of Peace. What was going on during that development?
I'll put it in a little bit of what they didn't do. So what they didn't do is have us sit in rows and look at a PowerPoint. And they also didn't say, let's talk about how to talk to students about difficult topics. Instead, they put us in a circle and they asked us to interact in various ways. They put us in sometimes uncomfortable positions of walking around, requiring us to meet with people we haven't talked to before. They were breaking down barriers.
So it's interesting, most of the day it was spent talking about, for a better term, triggers, like personally, to get us to sort of reflect on how we as people respond to certain scenarios and situations, and to sort of just to have a better sense of our own stresses, right, and how that manifests itself. My feeling was that a huge part of this, before you can implement a strategy, you have to be a little bit more self-aware about your own perspectives, bias, stresses, anxieties, because people will, anxiety and fear manifests itself in these contentious discussions.
One of the things they were talking about, and I've actually used this in my classes already, talking about the difference between dialogue and debate. Often in school we're debating, we're writing an argumentative essay, we're having a debate over a topic, and we have winners and losers. And one of the things they were emphasizing is the need for dialogue. So not to have someone win a discussion, but to truly talk about topics in order to gain a deeper understanding, as opposed to, trying to convince someone else that you are right, per se.
The conversations that you have in these situations need to be conversations and not an attempt to sort of win or to make the other person feel bad. Like, the focus is how can we better understand one another. Long story short, the strategies, a lot of them were trying not to respond with emotion, but trying to respond with curiosity.
In the classroom, if you have a student who says that they're upset about something, or somebody who says something insensitive, if we have an aggressive response, we may end up creating more divisions. First, find out more information, then whatever your next response is going to be, it'll be more meaningful.
And for this conversation, specifically in history class, how do you think you can peacefully, without bias, discuss conflicts that are going in the world right now?
So I would say that can be challenging. A lot of times you're dealing with students and families who have a very strong opinion, not just what the conflict is, but what it's about, and any type of characterization outside of that perceived notion can be problematic. So as a history teacher, our focus is really about trying to develop understanding.
It's hard to have conversations about controversial issues in the classroom, and at the end of the day, sometimes the most we can do is agree to disagree. But no matter what, our teachers at PHS are here to provide a safe space for us to express our opinions and engage in meaningful dialogue. Together, we can navigate some of these tough conversations and build a culture of empathy and understanding at PHS.